loves, welcome. I'm just going to add the title in a comment if it will let me. Won't let me comment. Darn Facebook. Hi everyone, welcome. Happy Sunday. Today I want to talk about, remind me, brain, brain, a recipe for consistency because I have so much coming through right now. Oh my gosh, the sun's so beautiful. I'm actually freezing. It's cold outside, but the sun's coming through on the trees behind my house where I'm facing, and it's so pretty. So right now I'm going to talk about what I just tuned into while I was finishing up my book. I'm just finishing up my book called Love Yourself Fat. A lot of people don't know that PTSD, when you've been through trauma, which I have, I was diagnosed with PTSD at 15 years old. In case you don't know my story, I had an assault happen with a boyfriend in high school. It was a very public trauma, and I was actually, knocked unconscious. So it was very serious. And we went to trial. He went to jail for 9 months. It was quite a severe trauma. And after that, I was diagnosed with PTSD, obviously, but I didn't know how to deal with it. And I'd never had a weight problem my whole entire life, not until I was 28 years old. And my stress threshold went through the roof when through my career. I worked on Canada's second largest child murder case. It was insane. So then my PTSD could not be ignored. Right. So, but I wanted to share a lot of women don't realize, especially women, it applies to men too, but a lot of women don't realize that you have a way higher chance of gaining weight when you have PTSD. There's so many factors. Google it. Understand it, because I don't want anybody beating themselves up. That's why I wrote the book, Love Yourself Fat. It's going to be back up on Amazon. I took it down to expand it. It was there since 2017, but I want to expand it and deepen it as I understand my own process, because we're always growing, right? We're always growing and learning and developing and expanding through life together. So yes, if you're going through that and you want to read my book, it will be up soon. You can message me if you want to be on the list of notifications. That just means that I'll just send you a quick message. Hi, whoever's joining, to let you know when my book is back up. But for now, what I really want to talk about is consistency, because I had this analogy come through, which makes so much sense. And tell me if you agree with me. But when you go to the gym and you're working out at the gym and you're working out every day, and then my boyfriend, he likes pizza, and he likes, he's one of those people who just stays the same weight no matter what he eats, kind of like we all were when we were in high school, but he's now in his late 40s. A lucky guy, right? And also in addition to trauma, having a traumatic history and being diagnosed with PTSD or CPTSD or just post-traumatic stress in any way, there's all kinds of diagnoses. Or even if you're not diagnosed, but you've been through trauma, there's weight gain with that. But also there's a huge weight gain when you get into your middle 40s, for women especially. So a lot of things happen to gain weight. And for me, I was so confused. I was like, what the heck's going on with me? But so my boyfriend likes to eat pizza. And so when I wasn't going to the gym, I would eat that stuff a lot more easily. I'm like, pizza. And pop. I never drank pop. I grew up in a really healthy family. Pop was a treat. Soda pop I'm talking about, in case you're not Canadian and don't call it pop. It was a real treat for us. And I understand that it's pure sugar. I understand that it's bad for your teeth. I grew up super healthy, but he drinks it. And so when I wasn't going to the gym, I would just be like, sure, I'll have some pop. And if it was in the fridge and I'm on my, my usual working day, working, and you know what it's like being an entrepreneur, if you're an at-home entrepreneur, which a lot of my followers are, you have free reign to have whatever you want in your house, right? In terms of food, it's always there, and you could just jump in the kitchen and be like, this looks good, even though you're in the middle of working. And if you had an actual job, you wouldn't be doing that. But my point is that when you go to the gym, and when I went to the gym, I noticed, and tell me if you agree, give me some thumbs up or hearts or likes, or emojis, let me know. And also, if you find this information helpful, please share it out with your friends. I want this to be shared out if you feel like it can help somebody, because my whole intention is just to help people through this stuff. It's really hard when you have PTSD or CPTSD and you're trying to cope with life in general, let alone, your body's changing. So when I wasn't going to the gym, it'd be so much easier for me to grab all that stuff. But when I started going to the gym, I would automatically, because I knew with my whole energy, my whole body, my whole being, that I just worked out for 2 hours, right? And I was doing it on a consistent basis. I knew that having my awareness of what self-destruction was and what behaviors were self-destructing were so much more heightened, right? Because it literally starts to make no sense. So I would go to the gym almost every day, and I would get home and Chris would be eating pizza, and I'd be like, I literally don't want that. Like, I'd rather have salad because I don't want to undo my progress, right? And it's harder when you don't have habits that help remind you and that help to especially if you're like me, right? And you guys, you're like me, you're like ethereal goddesses. You like spending time in the ethers and the invisible era, realms where we're just like, we like playing there. And especially with trauma, that's actually part of dissociation. Not that all of it is being spiritual, but some of it is. And you can get into a zone of like, just not wanting to be here on earth and in your physical body. So the more habits you have that ground you, that keep you in your physical body, is my light changing? I'm noticing that keep you in your physical body, the more you'll have that strong, grounded, solid reminder of, okay, where I'm headed, what I'm creating, and you'll like dissociate less, right? Does this make sense? Hi, whoever's joining. I have people hopping on and off. It's Sunday afternoon. I'm sure people are out and about doing their own things. But this message was coming through, and I know you guys can watch the replay later too. So my main message is to share that when you can create a habit that has you in a grounded energy that really supports your goals strongly, like even just that one habit of going to the gym almost every day, right? And you can set it up. It's easy to create a habit. It really is. It seems like it's so hard. It seems like a lot of other things get in the way, but you can set up accountability. You can set up structure. I used to have my sweetheart on his way to work drive me to the gym. And so I had to find my way back, and my best way back was like walking, and like it would happen no matter what, right? Like you can set up your whole life that way. And I'm talking about a physical analogy, but really I work with business women. That's what I do for a living and have been doing for the last 10 years in my business. And so I wanted to share that doing a Facebook Live every single day has the same impact. It has the exact same impact. You start showing up every single day and it grounds you in your business, right? It keeps you focused there. And you literally, like there's this equation in human beings, right? That when the benefits outweigh the costs, you will always, our brains are wired this way, you will always go with the behavior that will outweigh the cost. And so if you are investing in live streaming for your business every single day, it's the same impact that the gym has on your life. It's the same momentum and push and energy that the gym has. And what I mean by that is like, you'll start to, like when you, instead of pizza, it'll be distraction, right? Like something will come up that used to distract you. Maybe you like watching stuff on YouTube. Who doesn't, right? Who doesn't find a way to get distracted on the internet somehow, right? Especially if you have PTSD or CPTSD or have been through trauma and you are an isolator. That's a huge part of having trauma, is isolation, because we try, and this is all about self-compassion. Everything I talk about is, my whole intention is to raise self-compassion, because us people who've been through trauma, we're so hard on ourselves. And so, isolating is about you not wanting and me not wanting to be triggered. My PTSD symptoms are pretty much under control and have been for a really long time, but maybe yours aren't. And I don't want you to beat yourself up, especially with the weight gain or any of that stuff, but also because like isolating is simply just you keeping others safe, because irritability and anger is a big part of PTSD. It's a way of coping. Even that, there's compassion there. I'm giving you light of compassion everywhere. Okay. And so even that, it's like, you're coping, you're trying to get rid of the pressure of the war that's going on inside of you, because that's what trauma does. It destroys our insides. And we need to get help. We need to, there's so much different kind of help. And I teach the mindset help because I don't see hardly anybody teaching that when it comes to trauma. And I'm 45 now, and I was diagnosed at 15, and I've been getting different kinds of treatments throughout the years. All of them have helped me a little bit, but I have this long, beautiful perspective of what can help, what works, I've worked with clients for the last 10 years too, right? So I've seen different personalities, different people. Hi, Chelsea, welcome. And so, I'm able to have that long-term view of, okay, there's things that are missing in the trauma healing world, and mindset is one of them. And so the thing I'm teaching about consistency today is, number one, self-compassion. You've got to be compassionate. Like, I'm isolating, or I'm trying to distract myself, or I'm doing this because I don't want to get triggered. I don't want to hurt other people, and I don't want to put myself through that stress, right? So when you're carrying around unhealed trauma inside of you, it's really difficult. It is like carrying a war around inside of you. But there are ways to navigate. They're beautiful ways. And creating these habits are really important. I know that when you exercise, right, you just feel so much better. And it has nothing to do with your weight, because people who have severe PTSD really don't even care about their weight. They really don't. They're like, who cares, right? I've got bigger fish to fry than that. But some people do. I certainly did when I was in my younger years, that's for sure. And what I care about most, though, is feeling good and creating that momentum I'm talking about in the consistency. And what happens, and this is the real recipe for consistency, when you start that one habit, like I said, it could just be one habit, live streaming every single day. And I have several different pages, so you might not see me on this page every single day, but I'm somewhere live every single day, including Instagram. If you want to join me there, I'm at Empowered with Gina over there. I also have Success Coach Gina page, which you can link up through on my personal page here. But, just starting that one habit, getting that going will create this positive momentum that I said, like, will so easily keep you away, if it's physical health, keep you away from the junk food. Like, you might choose it here and there, but everything in moderation is wonderful, right? Like, that's how we're meant to live. That's fine. But when you have the momentum and the beautiful consistency, it has an energy of its own, and it creates even more momentum and more strength in support of your goals. It makes life so much easier, just by committing to one habit, keeping that going, whether, again, it's the Facebook Live or going to the gym and getting some exercise and just feeling the benefit, right? The benefit of exercise, or the benefit of showing up to your business, is monumental. Like, the compound effect is something that we who've been through trauma need to take advantage of, and need to invest in, and need to, really appreciate for what it is. Because I know, like, I've watched live streams like this, and I'm like, I'm going for a walk. That's all it's going to take, right? And as you're walking, literally your whole system, you're getting oxygen to your blood, oxygen to your tissues, oxygen to your organs, the tissue of your organs, like all of it. And you just do so much good. You sleep better that night, right? And the momentum is inviting you to start. But I know when my symptoms were active and they were really strong, I couldn't stay consistent to save my life. I was isolating, getting distracted, not realizing the value of a habit that serves you, as opposed to all the hundreds of coping habits. Bless us all. It's not like we do it on purpose. It's not like it's our fault, but, there's lots of habits that don't serve us, like scrolling all day online, isolating. Like, I know it's easy, and I know I needed it for a long time to isolate and scroll, right? And just not be around people. I was so stressed out. Didn't understand what was going on with me. Didn't understand why I would get activated so much. Didn't even understand who I was, because that was never my true self. The person who was dealing with symptoms of trauma. No, right? Who we truly are these beautiful souls who have these beautiful positive momentum and this beautiful positive habits and energy. And we get to support and love ourselves that way, and start to counter all the self-destruction that happens, and the self-sabotage that happens when you have PTSD or CPTSD, or when you've been through trauma. So I work with men and women. A lot of my groups are just for women, but I do work with men and women, business owners who have been through trauma. And right now, for Valentine's Day, it's still going on. I have a special, I just like at the end of my live streams to invite you into my containers if you want to work with me further. And so I have something called Money from the Heart right now. It's a bundle, and it's a 90-minute session with me. We could just like talk about your business, or this one isn't just for business people. This one is Money from the Heart. So it's like you getting into a relationship with money that is from the heart, that's really heartfelt, and really like minus all of the crap that I've been talking about in this live stream, like, not working out, what happens is you don't feel good. You don't have oxygen to your brain, to your body. Like, the impact of that is like confusion in your head and lack of clarity and lack of energy and like all of that, right? And not showing up in your business. Ugh, like, your soul is meant to come out into your business. Your soul is meant to be thriving in a business that you're meant to thrive in. And you know what you're meant to do, or at least that you're meant to do this your way. And online business is brilliant for people who've been through trauma, because we get to have our own schedules. We get to, take that little break when we need it and not be embarrassed and not deal with the extra stress that can happen being around people all day or being in workplaces, right? And you make so much more money, which you deserve. Like, you're meant to thrive and live in abundance, not deal with all of these effects that can take on monstrous proportions, just monstrous, ugly proportions in our lives, and just come in and destroy it. And it feels like you have no hope because you don't have one habit that you're committed to, right? And I remember just beating myself up over and over. Oh my God, I'm not consistent. I'm so lucky to have this online business and I'm not showing up every day. Like, just the horror, even just thinking back to that, it's horrible, because we're not meant to be treating ourselves that way. We're meant to learn how to be in alignment with who we truly are, our souls, and show up from a place no matter what's going on, right? Like, I have been diagnosed with PTSD since I was 15. So what? I still get to thrive. I've had incredible months with my business. I've had incredible years. I've had incredible clients. I still have incredible client relationships. Like, you get to have that, right? Just because you've been through trauma, it doesn't mean your life, that monster of symptoms, that momentum, has to control it and destroy it, right? And the mindset work that I do, and this is what I'll be doing in that 90-minute session, is showing you the mindset work piece that is missing from trauma treatment. And that is working on the thoughts, the feelings that are contributing to your action or your lack thereof of action, right? Like, our thoughts and our feelings, I call them the invisibles, they create our entire lives, because they determine whether we'll take action or whether we don't. And that action creates our entire life, right? Success in our business, success in our relationships, success with our health. And I understand what it is and what it feels like to not be taking action and know that you're meant to. And it's not the same as with people who haven't been through trauma. It's just not. It's different. We need different things. And that's why I offer myself to the world, because I can offer a perspective like I've been there. I've been dealing with this for many decades, and I feel that it's my calling. I always knew it was, because I'm someone who can offer a really deep understanding. Like, I've been there, I've got you, girl, I've been there, I know what it's like. And also like this decades of healing, and now a decade of helping people through it, right? It's my heart, it's my honor. So this bundle that I'm talking about is a 90-minute session, plus you get access to my mindset program called Never Worry About Money Again. It's a 4-week program. This is insane. Like, the 4-week program is usually $497 in and of itself. And the 90-minute sessions are usually around $497. So that's like $1,000 total. But I do offer, if you want to hire me as a private mentor, because I have private online coaching, which is, and in person too, I do them in person sometimes too, which is a deep dive session with me, which is either 90 minutes, half day, or full day. We start out our whole relationship like that. And then there are 3 months of follow-up coaching. Right. And so people who want to work with me in that, I offer a $250 session. It's different though. It's a different kind of session, but these are, oh my God, mind blowing, right? Because we dive deep. We go into what you do is at the beginning of the session, you identify a goal, and I help you see all the stuff that's in the way. And I give you exercise after exercise after exercise, after skill, after training, like of what you can do to clear this energy. And I help you clear as much as we can in our session. And I do offer half day and full day individual sessions too. So that's my whole shop, and my book's coming back out. But that $1,000 value for Valentine's Day, I never do this, like once a year. I do it in September for my anniversary. I'm moving around because I'm starting to get cold. I'm actually wearing a skirt with no leggings on. But that one is usually, so it's $1,000 value. And for Valentine's Day, I'm doing it for $300. So a couple of spaces have filled. I'm only doing it for 5 days only. So on the 19th, it's gone. Gonzo. But yeah, you get to join me if you're feeling called, and if you have questions. I'm not a high pressure salesperson at all. If you have a question or you just want to talk to me and chat with me, message me. My door is open. Come talk. I'm here to serve people in this way. And oh my God, this morning I was watching, if you're in my Superstar, Superstar Businesswomen, that's it. I'm like, I'm high doing this. Not high, by the way. I don't do drugs, but just high in this energy and this flow. But this morning, if you're in my Superstar Businesswomen free Facebook group, I also have a PTSD group as well, as you can see in my cover page up top, my cover photo on my private Facebook page. I posted about Justin Bieber's Never Say Never documentary. Has anybody seen it? It's so good. It was so inspiring. And I just resonated with him so much. And I'm going to close by saying this. I resonated with the love that he shows up for his people for. And that's how I feel about you guys. Like, I'm just like, what can I create now to support them? And, you know, of course, I have to be fair to all the people who've invested in my business and to my industry and, you know, and to myself, of course, so that I can keep showing up and keep supporting myself and keep, you know, being taken care of as I serve you guys. So, but once a year, you know, come September, when my anniversary, I just celebrated my 10-year anniversary this September, and every September I put things on special. But in February this year, I was just like, so much love bursting, and I just wanted to share. So $300, crazy. Message me if you want to join, or visit Empowered with Gina. I'll put the link below, and you can go there and just book your session right now, and you'll get instant access to my calendar, and you can book your session right away. And then you can start your course soon after. Let me put that in the comments right now. All right, guys. I love you. Thank you for joining me. If you have any questions, make sure you ask them. Just message me or pop a comment below. All right, guys, I love you. Mwah! Take care, and don't forget, the recipe for consistency is creating that one habit, which will then turn around the ugly momentum of all the symptoms that we can experience when we've been through trauma. It'll turn it around, and it'll catapult you into an energy where life is much, much easier, because you'll have more energy. You'll have less ugly thoughts. You'll be in the mindset of, yeah, I deserve support, and I'm going to get support. Like, I wouldn't be where I am without all the support I've had. Like, I could cry thinking of all the people who've helped me through, including mindset mentors. To be honest, they've been the most valuable. That's why I am one, right? They changed everything for me, because for most of human history, all we've known is like hospital treatments and medical treatments, and there's so much more. And this mindset work was the missing piece. And I've been doing this for years, working on myself and my PTSD, right? I love you guys so much. Thank you for joining me. And I look forward to connecting with whoever's ready for this. All right. Love you. See you next time. Mwah.